Welcome to English Learning Class.
Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're tuning in because, well, today we're doing something incredibly practical. We are taking your everyday vocabulary and giving it a massive upgrade. If you've ever felt like your English is just kind of stuck in a textbook, you are definitely in the right place. Get ready to sound way more natural, confident, and expressive in your day-to-day life. Be honest with me for a second. Do you know all the grammar rules but still feel like you sound, a bit basic? I know so many of you can relate to this. It is incredibly frustrating to study so hard, memorize all these rules, and yet when you step into an actual conversation, you just feel robotic. You know the words, but the flow just isn't there, right? Well, today we're completely bridging that gap. Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover upgrading your basic English, professional workplace English, handling phone calls naturally, polite shopping and dining, casual daily conversations, and we'll wrap it all up with the secret to fluency. Rest assured, by the time we finish this explainer, you are going to have a complete toolkit of phrases for absolutely every daily situation. All right, section 1, upgrading your basic English. Let's start our hypothetical day. Imagine your alarm just went off. You didn't sleep well and you're feeling incredibly sluggish. The classic textbook phrase to use here is, I'm tired. English learners repeat this one basic phrase over and over. But native speakers, they really lean into expressive upgrades. They'll say things like, I'm exhausted, I'm drained, or I'm worn out. These just pack so much more emotional punch. And hey, if you want to be a bit more subtle about it, you can even say, I could use some rest. It gets the point across without bluntly stating how low your energy levels are. Let's listen to how this sounds in action. I worked all day. I'm completely exhausted. See? Doesn't that just sound so much more natural? It's really impactful. It gives the listener a genuine sense of exactly how you're feeling, way more than a simple I'm tired ever could. Honestly, context is everything, and upgrading your adjectives instantly levels up your fluency. Moving right along to section 2, professional workplace English. So you've had your morning coffee, you arrive at the office, you sit down at your desk, and bam, things immediately get hectic. The requests are just pouring in. This brings us to a highly relatable workplace dilemma. How do you actually tell your boss, or maybe a super demanding coworker, that you have way too much to do? You've got to set boundaries, but you absolutely have to stay professional. You might be tempted to just say, I'm busy, but honestly, that's blunt, it's dismissive, and it can actually come off as a bit rude in a corporate environment. Instead, try saying, I'm tied up right now. It means the exact same thing, but wow, it sounds vastly more professional and polished. It paints this picture that you are actively engaged in important work rather than just brushing someone off. Let's put that into a full sentence. Sorry, I'm tied up right now. Can I call you later? That right there is textbook professional communication. You're acknowledging them, politely explaining your status, and offering a follow-up. Oh, and a quick bonus tip for the office. If you want to reassure a coworker that you're going to handle a task, don't just say, I will do it. Instead, confidently say, I'll take care of it. It inspires so much more trust. Next up, section 3, handling phone calls naturally. The story moves forward. You're at your desk, and suddenly the office phone rings. You pick it up, and you need to handle this call like an absolute pro. If you need to quickly check something on your computer, please, whatever you do, don't just say, wait. Telling someone to wait over the phone is way too direct and feels like a command. Instead, use polite, native-sounding standards like hold on a second or just a moment. It instantly softens the request and makes the caller feel respected while you find what they need. Now, what happens when the technology completely fails? If the phone signal is weak and you can barely hear them, just say, hello, your line is breaking up. This is literally the perfect, most natural phrase for a bad connection. And if the call drops entirely, or if you just need more time to gather info, the magic phrase to use is simply, I'll get back to you. All right, the morning rush is finally over. Section 4, polite shopping and dining. It's lunchtime. Let's step out of the office to run some quick errands and grab a bite to eat. I want to challenge you right now. Mentally picture yourself standing in a cafe. The cashier looks right at you. What's your go-to phrase for ordering? Just think about it for a second before we talk about how to make it sound completely natural. Okay, here's the aha moment. If you've been pointing at menus and saying, I want this, it is definitely time for an upgrade. While it's grammatically fine, it can sound a bit like a demanding kid. The absolute smoothest, most natural way to make a selection is just to say, I'll take this one. It's decisive, it's polite, and it's exactly what you're going to hear native speakers saying in line at the coffee shop. The absolutely crucial point here is politeness. Politeness is everything in English. Saying, "give me water," is literally giving an order, but saying, "could I get some water, please," transforms it into a polite request. Notice that shift from a command to a question using "could I get?" You can use that structure for anything. And hey, if you just sat down at a table, another incredibly useful phrase to lock in is, "can I see the menu?"
Fast forward a few hours. Section 5, Casual Daily Conversations.
The workday is officially over, the errands are done, and you're out chatting with friends. When a buddy is explaining something, replying with, "I understand," is, well, actually, scratch that. It's totally fine grammatically, but it just sounds super stiff for a casual chat. Swapping out that textbook agreement for phrases like "got it" or "that makes sense" instantly loosens up the conversation. It shows you're actively listening, but in a relaxed way.
And how about this scenario? It happens literally all the time. Your friend runs up to the table out of breath and says, "Sorry, I'm late." You want to tell them it's totally okay. The ultimate, hands down, most natural way to say this in daily English is simply, "no worries." It instantly diffuses the tension and lets them know everything is perfectly fine.
Which brings us to our final part today. Section 6, the secret to fluency. We've navigated an entire day, from waking up to hanging out with friends. But how do we actually make these phrases stick? 10. That's it, just 10. So many people think achieving fluency requires some sort of impossible innate talent. It doesn't. The real secret is that consistency beats talent every single time. Fluency is really just about 10 minutes of daily, focused practice. Dedicate just 10 minutes a day and your English is absolutely going to transform. So how exactly should you spend those 10 minutes? Here is your game plan. Step 1, listen to explainers just like this one or podcasts to absorb that natural rhythm. Step 2, repeat the sentences you hear. And Step 3, speak them out loud. Don't just mumble them in your head, actually say them out loud to train your mouth muscles. And please, don't be afraid of making mistakes. Every single fluent speaker you look up to was once a beginner. I really want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Knowledge is only power if you actually apply it, right? So which 3 phrases will you use today? Seriously, don't wait for tomorrow. Pick 3 upgrades we talked about in this explainer, take them out into the real world, and use them in a real conversation today. You've got the tools. Now go out there and sound naturally fluent.